All right, y'all. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you're tuning in. I'm grateful to have you here. And we got Robert Kiyosaki back in the building for part 2 of his speech that broke the internet. And after part 1, I have to admit, I started and am currently reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I marinated on a lot of you guys and gals' comments, so thank you for that. We were talking about building wealth and how it isn't ungodly, because at the end of the day, if you're a kind-hearted soul, you can actually help a lot more folks when you're able to give back financially. So this part 2 should be interesting. Let's get it popping.
The moment you accept a paycheck, your brain goes dead. He says, as long as you're hungry, you'll think. My rich dad started teaching me about money on one condition. And that condition was he would never pay me. He says, the moment I pay you, you think like an employee. He says, that's the trap. Entrepreneurs work for free. And now I'm 9 years old, my head's going cracking in half. He says, you never want a paycheck. You understand that, kid? I said, okay, I got it. We all have fear. To be truthful, we all have fear. It's just how you deal with it. And, Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge. But knowledge empowers imagination. You got to have the basic knowledge of taxes, debt, financial statements, and all that. If you don't want to learn it, I can't help you. So my poor dad never wanted to learn what my rich dad was teaching me. And what most people lack is real business knowledge. You got to know that stuff, but they don't teach it in school to anybody. The school system was designed to teach you to be an employee, which is important, or a doctor or a lawyer, a specialist, but never about money.
Now, before we get into today's video, I want to give a huge shout out to today's video sponsor, Exter. Now, I don't know about y'all, but up until recently, I was still one of those people carrying around a huge, bulky, obnoxious, raggedy wallet that's so crammed full of IDs, it's darn near impossible to take out. I mean, seriously, look at this thing. This is about 10,000 miles of bad road, bad news, whatever you want to label it. It's embarrassing. It needs some tender love and goodness. And I'm taking these cards out ASAP so I can show you what I've upgraded to thanks to Exter. These wallets are super slim, sleek, and have a minimalistic design. They're half the size of a conventional bifold wallet, they're compact, and it holds up to 12 cards plus cash. They're extremely convenient with their signature quick card access, which means with the click of one button, you have access to all of your cards. They're extremely high quality, made with materials like Italian leather, space-grade aluminum, and carbon fiber. They have built-in RFID blocking, which means you have protection from wireless theft. And something I've never seen before is that you can buy this super cool tracking card. All you have to do is install the Chipolo app from the App Store or Google Play Store, follow the easy in-app steps to set up your Exter tracker card, and boom, you're good to go. And if you ever lose your wallet like myself has from time to time, you can easily ping it and track it right from your smartphone. This camel one is their space-grade aluminum, or aluminium for you British folks out there. And this black one is the Parliament, which I placed the tracker card inside of in case I were to misplace or have my wallet stolen. I could have also placed it in their camel one as well, but I preferred it in the Parliament. If you use my link in the description, you get a massive 20% discount. I'll also pin it in the comment for those of you that are a little less techie. Thank you again to Exter for sponsoring today's video.
Poverty is passed on. It's taught in your families. And middle class is taught in families. And so the people right now who are sitting at home, who are struggling financially or worried about money or unhappy, they may be making a lot of money, but unhappy with what they're doing, it was probably taught to you.
Do the rich people cringe and say, don't tell them that, Rob?
Yes. Don't tell people what you know. Right. Keep them poor. The poor will always be amongst us because it starts up here. It's in their words, but when they say I can't afford it or I can't do that, they become what they say. And I meet so many people, I can't afford it, you think I made of money? And my rich dad would say, that's why he's poor. Poor people say, I can't afford it, I can't do that, I don't have time. Because this is an escape. It's easy to say, I can't afford it. Oh, I'm too tired. Oh, I can't go to the gym.
Yes, you
when
can.
You could go to the gym, but no, I can't. Truth is, I'm just too lazy to go to the gym. But the thing is that
now
we become creatures of our own habits. And until we break the habit, we don't change.
Robert is the man.
But the way he taught me about money was playing Monopoly. And finally one day I got upset. I said, well, when are you going to teach me about money? He says, what do you think we're doing? We're playing Monopoly. He goes, no. What do you think we're doing? We're playing Monopoly. He says, what do you think we're doing? So I don't know. I'm teaching you about money. And then that's when, you have one green house. He says, there's many formulas for great success in money. There's thousands of them. But one of the best ones found on the game of Monopoly. Still is today. 4 green houses, 1 red hotel. I said, what?
Watch it
He
multiply.
says, one of the greatest ways
assets.
to acquire great wealth is playing Monopoly in real life. 4 green houses, 1 red hotel. Well, is that all there is? He goes, that's it. And he says, what do you think I'm doing? And I went, I don't know. So then he took me out and he showed me his greenhouses. And 10 years later, when I was 19, I was now in school in New York, and I come back to Hawaii, and Rich Dad had bought the biggest piece of land smack dab in the middle of Waikiki Beach. And when you go to Waikiki Beach today, you'll see the Hyatt Regency Hotel. That was his hotel.
Just like the game of Monopoly.
Just like the game of Monopoly.
Acquired assets and they became bigger assets.
He just kept what's called an assemblage, because that property wasn't that big at the time. So he had to buy out all the small guys. Because Waikiki was a little dirt water little town. So he'd buy out this shop owner and buy that shop owner. And it took him a while, but he finally assembled this large piece of property. And then he and Hyatt put up this giant hotel. And it just sold for $800 million. So that's how I learned about money. And then Rich Dad Poor Dad came in '97. And the story goes, every publisher turned me down. They said, you don't know what you're talking about. Because they said, savers were losers. Your house is not an asset, and the rich don't work for money. And so the publishers are like my dad, academic superstars, they're A students in school. And so they turned the book down. And it took going by self-published route. A lot of network marketing companies picked up the book, like Amway and those guys. And they picked up the book to help recruit, because it's about financial independence. They're about the same thing I am.
Financial literacy.
And then Oprah called in 2000. And then the next time I'm on Oprah, and I went from obscurity to world famous, overnight success in 2000. And the book has been on the New York Times bestsellers for 7 years, until the New York Times took it off. They said it had been on too long. But as you know, most people in publishing or journalism, they're on the other side of the coin of capitalism, So they don't like guys who make money. And that's like my poor dad's side. So that's kind of the story. And I play Monopoly in real life. I don't need a job. I don't have a retirement. Don't need a retirement. I don't want the government to take care of me. But I felt a social responsibility to teach. And that's what my rich dad did for me.
He said, I
and
go
the
out and get it
average
on my
person,
own.
the reason they're poor is they haven't failed. They play it so safe. They haven't made any mistakes like they taught in school. That means they don't learn anything. That's why the school system's actually fundamentally corrupt. It's anti-education.
Right?
Amen.
Don't make mistakes and don't ask for help. And if I didn't ask for help, I have my accountants, my attorneys, my bankers, and all that. I go into business like a rugby team. Boom, boom. And we kick butt. But the average guy is standing there, I'm an A student, I'm going to do this all on myself, and a bunch of rugby players run you over, and you go, well, they're not playing fair. You're playing stupid. You should have a team. You should have accountants, attorneys, and bankers, and all that stuff. But that's not the game I want to play. I said, then don't play the game. The game of business is played with accountants, attorneys, bankers, hate to say it, politicians. You got to know the game. So what I say to young people is, you find your game. So my game financially is business, number one. Second is real estate. And that's why I pay no taxes. Legally, it is a combination of business and real estate that gives us an unfair advantage over employees, because they don't know what to do. Your super ego was taught, get a job, work hard, or you'll never be rich, or the rich are evil, or whatever.
And until you change your mindset,
Correct.
money won't help you, right?
Correct.
And we see that with people that win the lottery, people that make more money, they still have the same problem.
Right.
Because they have that poor man's soul.
Right. If you're poor, you'll always be poor.
That's really hard for people to
Yeah,
understand.
the money will disappear.
They can't
that
swallow
fast.
that pill,
Just like
though.
most pro athletes, they make millions of dollars, and but 65% are bankrupt 5 years later. It's because they come from poor families. Now you tell them that, they get very angry at you. It's the rich fault. It's you guys ripped me off. And
Blame
government
everybody
ripped
else
me
but
off.
looking in the mirror.
But unfortunately, what Mr. Lipton was saying, it's passed down genetically. That's the frightening thing.
Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't need $800 million. I've never aspired to be rich, have a huge house, anything like that. Personally, I just want a loving wife, which I have that, a loving family, which I've been blessed with, be surrounded by people that care about me, and we can make memories and have enough money to be able to give back to those in need, take care of those, go to church, give and tithe and do all that sort of stuff. Me personally, I've never wanted all that high class, high bouge sort of stuff, but having assets, I understand the importance of that. And if it's not under God, if it's not based in God, without him, you got nothing at the end of the day. So you can have all that money, all the wealth that you want, all those materialistic items, but you can't strap a U-Haul to a hearse. But what you can do is acquire enough to make sure the next generation, whether you have kids or not, the people you come across on this one journey you get in this one life, you can make sure that you inspire them, that you impact them in a positive way. So there is an important value in knowing finances and having a little bit of literacy behind taxes and things like that. So you're not just working to give to the government. So you're working, and all your hard-earned effort is going to those that you care about and the causes and purposes that you deem as important. Now, where people get it twisted is the goal isn't to get rich with no purpose. The goal should be your passion, which flows right into helping others and providing value. That's where people get lost in the abyss, is because they don't want to provide value and they're not actually going towards something that they love and care about, because you're going to get burnt out if you don't actually enjoy what you're doing and you don't actually see the value that's going into it and seeing smiles on other people's faces. You may acquire some wealth, but it's not going to have that longevity. It's not going to last. It's going to sink. So the goal is to provide value while pursuing your passion, because we've seen it time and time again where these Hollywood stars and athletes, they acquire unthinkable amounts of money and then they haven't built their foundation on godly values and principles and actually doing it with a purpose to help others and serve. And then they wake up one day and they're mounds of money and endure a full life of emptiness. That's what they have. They have all these piles of cash, all these cars and all these women or men or whatever you deem as top tier importance, and they still feel empty inside. So take a deep breath, pray, and work towards something that helps bring others joy and peace. The money will follow suit. God's going to give you exactly what you need when you need it. But serve, help others, provide value, stack up assets instead of just liabilities that you get tired of that aren't actually important after you've had them for a little while, and make your money work for you and work for the good. And y'all know it wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't take it to scripture, the good book, the Bible, basic instructions before leaving earth. You may disagree, but that's perfectly okay. This is my channel. I'm going to do it to serve and spread the message, spread the good news. So we're going to take it to Matthew 7 verses 12 through 14. I'm reading out of the ESV version. This is Jesus speaking. So whatever you wish that others would do to you, do also to them. For this is the law and the prophets. Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction. And those who enter by it are many. For the gate is narrow and the way is hard that leads to life. And those who find it are few. That's the golden rule. So to wrap this up with a little bow on top, use common sense, but be courteous and loving to others, because you can't take any of this stuff with you. You're only on this side of the grass one time. So you want to leave behind a comfortable life for your family and those that you impact and touch in a positive way along the way. So, hey, we only get one life. Start living it with a purpose. Start living it with financial literacy. So all your efforts, all your grind and your discipline day in and day out isn't just going to the government, isn't just getting burned, basically. It's actually going towards a purpose to serve others, to serve your family, and to serve for the good of God's kingdom. Y'all comment your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think. Let's keep this conversation rolling. You can agree, disagree, and we can still be, respectful and civil in the comment section. That's the beautiful thing about freedom of speech. We can all have an opinion. Everybody's got a few of them like elbows. So share your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you're new. Share this video. Keep spreading Robert Kiyosaki's knowledge, spreading whatever you get from me. I appreciate it. I love y'all. I'm grateful for it. If you want to support the channel, you can hit that thanks button. Has a little heart next to it, or you can donate on PayPal. You can buy me a coffee. All this stuff is linked in the description. All the products I use, like the sponsor of today's video, Exter. You can find that down below, pin comment, all of that. Everything you need is down below. But in all seriousness, I'm praying for y'all. I love y'all. If you need to reach out to me, Devin at dgibson.com for questions, concerns, prayer, whatever it may be. But until the next time, Godspeed. I'm gone.